y'all. Welcome to Hustle Humbly. It's Alissa and Katy, and we are two top producing realtors in the Baton Rouge market.
We work for two different companies where we should be competitors, but we have chosen community over competition.
The goal of our podcast is to encourage you to find your own way in business.
So stop comparing yourself and start embracing your strengths. All right, so hello. Hi. It's weird.
Hello, Hustle Humbly friends.
Hi, friends. We're here on Zoom. And why are we on Zoom?
Because we're still quarantined.
Yeah. And we have.
When will this one air? In April?
Yeah, this one is going to air on April 20th.
Okay.
4/20.
Woohoo!
So we're gonna call it High on Designations.
Oh, that's great. So catchy.
Stop. Do you know why? Because I'm gonna edit this out.
Okay.
You legit don't know why.
No. Wait, I know what 420 is.
Okay, you do.
Yes.
So we're gonna call it High on Designations.
Yes. I love it.
I think it's funny.
I think it's great.
Awesome.
I think we should.
Okay, cool.
I'm not that naive, okay?
Well, I was like, I don't know. Oh my God. So funny.
I know a lot about that stuff from my husband's job.
True story. True story. Okay.
And I don't think we need to edit any of that out.
Great. It all stays. Good news.
It's fine.
It's fine. Oh, but so it airs on 4/20 and it would be episode 37.
Okay. So I think that this is a good one to do while we're all quarantined because a lot of people are knocking out their continuing education.
Yes.
During this quarantine. I know our board at GBRER is starting to offer a lot of free CE coming up to get people through this time and whatnot.
I think that's good.
And so why not also explore designations?
Yep.
And, are they good? Are they bad? Are they worth it? Are they not worth it? What are they, for all the new people? And, I was worried that this might be a boring episode.
Right.
But a lot of people requested it.
Yes. We got it requested from Brittany Lanehart. We got it requested from Summer Rathman. Yep. There were some requests.
Yeah, there were. So, why don't you start?
Okay. So, first of all, let's start with the general public, I think, has no clue what this is.
No.
I think that I love this terminology. You get an email from a realtor, sweet, bless them all, with all the initials at the end of their name. And it's just like, it's alphabet soup, right? Like,
sure.
It's filled with initials. The general public is clueless as to what this means. Doctors don't have as many initials behind their name. And it almost feels like self-important. And like, look at me, I'm so fancy. It takes 2 lines to tell you all of the things I've learned and done. And I think we need to talk about what a designation actually is so that
Do you have what it actually is? Are you going to tell us?
I'll tell you. Okay. Sure, why not? I don't have a definition, but a designation would be something you have learned specific to, for instance, I have a green designation. So I went to a class and learned all about green building practices. It would be something that's niched down or specific. It would be a certain skill set that you were trying to learn as a realtor, right? Mm-hmm. Like a buyer representation or a seller.
Yes.
They're typically going to teach you. It's more extra education, right? And then you get to pay to keep the designation, which has usually some advertising to it. Obviously, you get letters behind your name. You belong to basically a professional group, right?
Yes.
Did I get that?
Yes, decent? I think that was great. And, being an Enneagram 3, and I like to check the boxes and have all the things and achieve and finish and complete and, like, have the alphabet soup.
You like the soup.
I did for a while.
Okay.
But then I was like, wait a minute. This is expensive because what would happen is every January it's come times to renew and they can range from $100 to $200 per designation to renew
every year.
So every single year.
Yeah.
Yes, it is a tax write-off. I checked with the National Association of Realtors. So I'm all about investing. I think that you just know if this is a good one for you.
Yeah.
So kind of how you mentioned, it's sort of like what you put into it, you get out of it.
Yeah.
And in our previous episodes, when we talk about joining like physical groups that have things that you like, and like if you like tennis, join a tennis group, or if you like baking, join a cooking group or whatever. It has to be something that you're passionate about.
Yep.
But you can't join 20 groups.
No.
Because then you can't do anything well.
Well, even if they were only $100, that's a lot of money every month. I mean, every year.
Right. And then, and it's just time. And like, so I think with designations, the important thing is to ask yourself, what do I want to be as a realtor? So for example, I decided, I've talked about in previous episodes, that I am not the best realtor to work with investors.
Right.
It's not the type of business that brings me joy. It stresses me out. I don't have the time. I'm also just not that mindset.
Yeah.
So I'm probably not going to get the designation that is good for investors, because they have designations out there specifically for people who help investment clients.
Yeah, they have resort.
I'm not going to get that one.
No.
Oh, lovely.
I know.
Well, maybe I'll get that one. That sounds
fun. I know.
But anyways, you get out what you put into it. So if you really focus on what your goal is here, then that will guide you in the direction you need to go.
Okay, what I agree with you there. And what I think that is important, I believe this for your business, you should have a niche. I mean, you don't have to only serve one, but you should have something that you're honing skills in that particular type of buyer, seller, whatever it is. Are you residential, and do you want to work with first-time buyers? Do you want to work with distressed property? You know, there is a designation for all different types of niches. I mean, all the way down to seniors real estate specialists. So that's like if you're working. What?
I have to tell you a funny story about this one.
Yes.
So when I was brand new, they did a class at our board for the seniors residential. What is it? SRES.
Yes, seniors real estate specialist.
Okay. I took it.
Okay.
And I got I'm brand new. I have no business. And they talked about how you can win this business of the older crowd.
Sure.
And they even went into how to contact people that go into nursing homes and how to start that conversation delicately and professionally in the right way, and how to talk with the family. And I was really into it for a year.
Did you get some business?
Well, I don't think so.
But you were sold.
I was sold. And I thought it was a great idea. I don't think that I executed it properly.
Yep.
But it was very practical things that you could do.
Yeah.
And I just think that the designations really are full of really good information.
Oh my God. So I did want to make sure we cover that. The classes that you take for a designation are far more interesting and far more useful than most free classes I've been to. So the designation classes, they're serious. They're not just glossing over stuff. They're getting deep into topics. They're really giving you useful information. And if you're wanting to learn about a topic, if something interests you, I think it's amazing. Yeah. The educational part of it. So whether or not you're going to keep the alphabet soup or even put it on your name at all, whether or not you want to belong to that organization forever and pay the fee every year to continue, I think that the designation still has use in that you can study that particular thing that you liked or that you wanted to know more about or that you wanted to get better at, especially if you're not comfortable in something, and then take that education and use it in your career. You don't need to have it just for the initial. I don't need it to look like I'm important. However, I do think you should put that onto your resume, whether you and I would be really careful about the wording. If you're not going to continue to pay for it, you probably need to say earned a CRS designation in 2015
I have something that on my notes is that, these things are really good resume builders. And while you take the class, you might pay anywhere from $300 to $500 to get the designation.
Yeah.
But you don't have to renew it every year if you don't want to. But they are really good to have on your resume. So you could put, 2012 SRES or, just so they know that's when you got it. But it doesn't say that you still have it.
Yeah, I think that's fine because there are requirements to how you can advertise them if you're not paying the fee.
Right.
Okay, so I think that if you should have a niche, and when you have a niche, you should go get some extra education, and a designation is a great way to do that.
And speaking of niche, when we recorded episode 4, I think was with Matt Hughes.
Yes.
he's like a big land guy. He loves,
Yes.
he's really into land. Anytime I have a land question, I call him. I think he talks about it a little bit in his episode. Yep. But one of his goals was to get the land designations so that he could become known as the land specialist and deal more with that. Yeah, it's like the perfect niche.
Mm-hmm. I think that's really helpful. And I jotted down some of them because it's a lot. Like there are a lot you can do. The ABR is buyers, SRS sellers, ALC is the land. So that one. Okay. CCIM is like a big deal.
Oh, the commercial guys?
Like that's serious.
Like if you don't have a CCIM in commercial, they really take that seriously.
Yeah, they take it. And I think it's really hard to get. Like you have to do a certain number of deals. And so that's commercial investment. And that one I know is just like super duper prestigious. CIPS is international property, CIPS. I mean, CPM is property manager, CRS is certified residential specialist. And we're going to come back to that. Green, I did this one early on. I'm interested in green built. Like I did this a long, long time ago before it was like even cool, but I learned so much interesting information and it's an 8-hour course, y'all. So it's not like short. Some of them are longer. I don't think any of them are shorter. They're pretty long.
So it's funny that you say that because I wrote down that there is quite a range in how long it takes to get certain designations. There are some where it's 2 hours online and you get the designation.
Okay.
And then there's some that are months in classroom only. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of these have production requirements.
Yes. Okay. So do you want to hear the requirements? The one I have that I got I only have 2. I got green early on because I wanted to actually learn that info. And so I got that one. And it was an 8-hour course, which actually it was either 1 or 2 days. It was 8 or maybe 16. It was very interesting. And then in 2017, I got my CRS.
Okay.
And CRS, I wrote down the requirements because CRS is the Certified Residential Specialist. And I feel like it's pretty prestigious if you're a residential.
That's a prestigious one.
That's your jam, right? Well, the requirements are very interesting. There are 2 ways to do it. One way is 60-30-30, which is 60 transactions in your career or $30 million volume in the last 5 years and 30 hours of education. So 30 hours of education with 60 transactions. So you've got to have experienced some real estate. Like you cannot get a CRS your first year in unless, you can't. The other route for CRS is 10 years with your license, 10 years, 150 transactions, and then there's 16 hours of education. So that's
for which one?
CRS.
Oh.
So that's the one I did. And I had been in 10 years. I did this in 2017. So I'd been in 10 years. I'd done 150 transactions. So you just had to prove your production. Like your broker just signed off on like a sheet. And then it took me 2 days, 16 hours. And the classes were amazing, but it was 2-day class and it was the whole full 2 days. So 16 hours.
Did you take it in Baton Rouge?
Mm-hmm. I did, and it travels around. So a lot of these designations, it's not like you can just roll into your board and take it every month. You have to plan for it. Or CRS, and a lot of, we've talked about this before, they recommend that you travel to I would have gone to maybe Houston, somewhere that there's a lot of people moving into and out of Baton Rouge to Houston or from Houston, and take the class there. And so that you build a network and that you might get some referrals.
Hello, friends.
Hi, y'all.
Our template course has launched.
It's out there.
And we have been getting some really positive feedback.
Yes, I have some great feedback I wanted to share with you guys. We had one purchaser say, "Thank you for these templates. As a new agent, I feel it would have taken me years to create these on my own."
That's awesome.
I know, it's so great. And then I had, "These are so incredibly helpful. What a great investment. Thank you for your time and efforts putting these together." I think that you guys, this is the answer to saving yourself some time.
It helps you put systems in place. It keeps you professional. It keeps you consistent. It just makes everything run so much smoother.
So much smoother. You're never going to forget to tell somebody something.
No, because it's all there.
It's all there. And you're going to edit it to make it sound like your voice if you'd like, and it's going to be perfect for your business.
Yeah, so go check out our template course.
Yes.
At
hustlehumblypodcast.com.
Perfect.
Okay.
Enjoy.
Bye.
I took the ABR class when I was new.
Okay.
With Adorna Carroll as the professor.
Okay.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
She's really blunt and she can kind of have a potty mouth, but that's why I like her.
That's fun.
She's so funny and honest, and she doesn't sugarcoat anything, but I was like hooked on every word she was saying. And it's funny because I can still remember the people I was sitting with.
Yeah.
I was in the Baton Rouge market, but those were some of the first people I met outside of my company.
That's so fun.
And I'm still friends with them.
Like, I love it.
All that time together.
Yeah.
And that's how we met, was in that class. And
well, most of those classes do a lot of group work. So you actually kind of have to talk to each other.
Right. Exactly.
Very good.
So yeah, I mean, I think going in person, I know we're all quarantined right now, and in person sounds great no matter what it is.
You would learn just about anything in person.
Yeah, but they really are. The instructors are really good. The bar is set really high for who can teach them.
Yeah, it is. But I think that was also the point of us doing this episode now. If people, because people have some time where they can maybe do some education, it's a good time to learn what this is and what's the point. Yeah,
I mean, like, it's a good time to pick out read through the list and say, what if I want to be just a buyer's agent, or if I want to specialize in land, or if I want to specialize in helping investors, or read through the list and just see, which ones would benefit you the most for what your goals are for your career.
I think that makes sense. Pick something that some of them are really interesting. Like, they're more tech-based. So there's ePro. I mean, ePro is, and I didn't do it, so I can't speak to what you exactly learned.
I heard that one was fairly easy to get.
Yeah.
So it could be a good one to do online.
Yep. And then there's Smart Home, which is probably pretty equivalent to what I learned in Green, but I think that's probably very interesting. Like, how do you have a smart home? And then there was digital marketing, social media certification.
Oh, wow.
So can you imagine if you're going on a listing appointment and you have your resume, and your resume says that you're certified in social media marketing? I mean,
that's pretty awesome.
Sounds pretty good. So I think, and especially if everyone starts out as a buyer's agent, right?
Right.
You don't need a buyer's agent designation, but if you have one, then maybe you have some more confidence. But if you're ready to transition to sellers, I think going out and getting an SRES or starting the education for that, most of these will have transaction requirements, though. It's not like you can just go get a SRE, or not SRES, what is it? SRS. You can't just go get that.
But you can go ahead and take the class.
Yes.
And as soon as you get the transaction requirements, you submit it.
That's
so you
right.
don't have to worry about, postponing everything.
I think that's good. Which ones did you do?
The SRES and the ABR were really the only two.
Yeah, and I only did two also.
I do want to start focusing more, as I'm entering year 9.
Yes.
I think 9, I can't remember. 9, I am becoming more of a listing agent, and I feel like I need to invest more in that area as I'm making that transition, because normally I'm so buyer heavy, and it kind of happened pretty quickly. Like, 1 year I had mostly buyers, and then the next year I was like, wait a minute, I have all these listings.
Yeah.
I would really like some guidance and direction and just confidence in that area. And I think these are such big confidence builders, getting these designations.
Well, any education is a confidence builder. And this one comes with like a literal stamp of approval. Like, you passed the test. You've learned this topic. They have one for negotiation, I think.
Oh, that's good.
Or at least they have negotiation classes within a lot of these.
It was interesting because the National Association of Realtors did a study that shows that the realtors that have designations make more money than those that don't.
You want to hear some crazy stats?
Yes.
Okay, so because I was on the CRS website,
Hold on 1 second.
Go ahead. We got a baby.
Okay, I think we're good. We don't even have to edit that out. I was just making a 3-year-old. She has discovered she can get out of her.
I was going to ask, does she get out?
I threaten her because we still have the crib in the baby room.
Right.
there, which is just like an empty room with a crib in it. But I'm like, if you get out of this bed, you're going back.
And she don't want to do that.
And she's like, I'm not going back. I don't want to go back.
Okay, so good for her. We're good. She stays in. Okay, so stats. So I wrote down the CRS stats because that's the one I have and that's the website I was on, so it was easy. Yeah. But CRS, again, is a certified residential specialist. And y'all, I told you all the requirements. It's not easy to get. But here's the stats on once you have it. CRSs do more. An average agent does 12 transactions in a year. CRS, 25.
Whoa.
Okay, average agent does 1.9 million in volume in a year. CRS does 3. And then the average agent makes 42,500 average income. CRS 100,000.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. So it's just really interesting to see how that stacks up. Like once you actually, and you're not, I don't think you're doing more business because you got that designation. I think you were able to get that designation because you're good at your job.
Right. Exactly.
And then you've got it, and then you're building confidence, and you're like this classes I took to get my CRS were business building. And I mean, they were really helpful classes that will grow my business.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. So I just thought that was really interesting.
That is interesting. Now, there are some designations that require multiple designations to get the designation.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about like a pyramid.
Tell me about that. Like a pyramid.
Okay.
So the GRI, which is the Graduate Realtor Institute.
Yeah, those are for the people that really like to learn.
That is for the smarty pants who they say it's equivalent to an accountant being a CPA.
Okay, I like it.
It's just supposed to be a big deal.
But so you've got to get some underneath there.
Yes, so it's very hard to get. Okay. And you have to get like maybe the ABR, SRS, SRES, CRS in order to get the GRI.
Right.
So, there's all sorts of levels and tiers, but I don't think you want to get sucked into feeling stressed out about that because I think you just need to say, what am I aiming for?
Yeah.
What's my goal? Is this going to actually help me? Don't let the Enneagram 3 inside of you make you feel like you have to check all the boxes if it's kind of pointless for what your goal is in your career.
Well, right. If you don't want to work short sales and foreclosures, don't go get a designation. I mean, like that. Look, this is what I always find so funny when agents, and it's scarcity mindset, and it's just how we're wired. I don't know, where they want to take all the business. I'm like, you can pick. Like, do you want to focus on second homes? Fine. I mean, like, pick, but you don't have to do it all. There is even military relocation. That's probably very helpful in certain areas, obviously. Yeah. I mean, like,
absolutely.
I don't have a lot of military relocation happening around here. There's one on pricing strategy. So if you wanted to, if you're trying to work on your listing stuff, maybe you want to do that. I think it's okay to pick a niche and to then pick whatever you want to learn.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I also think it's probably good to look at the classes that are given underneath these things because there's some really good classes and you have to pay to go to these classes, y'all.
Right.
They're not,
it's not cheap.
Free. No, they're not free. So you probably don't want to spend all your money on doing every single one, but start somewhere. I think I felt good after I finished the one easy one and I was like, okay, I've learned something and I felt like I had knowledge and then that made me feel more comfortable talking about that.
Well, I mean, you can speak to this also because you were a little bit more involved than I was in CRS than I was in ABR. But once you pick a designation, that you're part of a club.
Yes.
Essentially.
Yes.
And you get out of that club what you put into it. So are you taking advantage of the free, air quote, free resources that you get from having that designation that are included in your dues?
Yep.
Are you networking? Are you really advertising that you completed this and that you have it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, tell them how we met.
Well, that's true. It's so funny. So we met because when I was just getting into CRS, they offer webinars, like online courses. They offer in-person education, but there was a webinar that you were teaching on. I don't even remember the title of it, but I knew you because you were in my market. I feel like you did
organization,
something like that, like keeping in touch with your database, something to that effect.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't remember.
I don't remember, but I took the little 1 hour webinar that you gave because I'm like, oh, well, I know Alissa and I know she's good. And I want to hear what she has to say about this topic. But I have taken tons of their webinars, and it'll be agents from all over the country teaching on a very, very specific topic. Like one of them was literally an hour on how to write up an offer presentation. So like how to attach your documents, what type of letter to put in front of it, like how they actually sent their email, what did it say, what were their steps in the process of submitting an offer, like a full hour on learning how to submit an offer.
See, I feel like these designations are providing practical, good ideas, fresh ideas, good steps, It's really helpful information.
It's super helpful information. So once you've got your designation, then you're in, I know in CRS, and I don't know about the others, they're constantly providing more education. In fact, CRS requires you now, in the last couple of years, you have to do 2 hours of continuing education that they offered.
Oh, wow.
So in order for me to renew mine, it isn't just the monetary deal. I have to also have done 2 hours of extra education. Because the whole point is that they're trying to build professionalism. That's the whole point of all designations. And
when I read the statistic that the realtors that have designations make more money, I'm like, that's because those are the go-getters. Those are the ones that are being professional, that are treating it like a job, that are investing in themselves. It's kind of like when we have meetings at the board of realtors and we're there to say like, hey guys, just some housekeeping items and a reminder that this isn't allowed and we operate this way. The people that need to hear it aren't there.
Yeah.
Like the people in the room that are actually attending things and being leaders in their industry, those aren't the people you need to be talking to. It's the ones that aren't there.
Exactly.
So it is a mindset thing. It just shows that you see the value.
Yeah. Well, education is probably the only way you can really build your confidence other than actual experience over time. Right. So you can immediately go take a course and at the end of the day, have some additional confidence in a topic, whatever the topic was. And you'll be more professional. I just think that they're amazing for that. And I don't think that you have to I know that when we talked about doing this episode, you were kind of like, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know if I kept all mine. Like,
I know.
I don't know if it has value in the beginning, even more than it has value renewing it every year and putting alphabet soup behind your name.
Yeah. And I mean, we do have a lot of new agents that are listening, but I think that this could be for maybe the people that have been in it 5 years, 10 years, that just never really got the momentum that they wanted to, and if you're struggling with confidence and if you're struggling with how to speak to people, can you imagine the next time someone like your friend calls you and says, hey, can you come list my house? And they're calling you because you're just a friend and they probably feel a little sorry for you and they feel like they have to use you. Right. And you say, absolutely. I actually just finished my accredited seller's designation and now I am certified to do this and let me come to, and then they're just impressed. Yeah. And you're all of a sudden have some credibility behind you when you're new.
For
just
sure.
by saying the things that you've accomplished. So
yes.
It's very important when you're new, I think, to have some of these designations because you don't have numbers yet. You can't say, oh, well, yes, I'm a realtor because I've sold this many houses and I work with this many buyers and sellers. But you can say, I'm a good realtor because I have the ABR, I have the CRS. And it just gives you credibility before you really have the numbers.
I think that's true for sure. I also think that, and I don't know if it's just CRS because this is what they push, I have sent and received referrals because of that designation.
Yes.
So I, would go and look for an agent that I knew because I knew how hard it was to get it. And then I knew that they were very professional. Is she awake?
No. Do you know what's in my bathroom right now? My RoboVac. And it's about to come knock on the door. That's what it's about to do. It's going to be like, excuse me.
It's time to
vacuum your closet. Can you get out your closet so I can vacuum your closet? So I was listening to see if it's leaving. Can you hear it?
I heard it, but it sounded like a telephone ringing.
Let me go move it.
Okay.
Good Lord.
It's so funny. So back on the designations.
But yes, I know that a lot of people, so I've been in some realtor groups where they have said, does anybody have a realtor in Texas, preferably if they have this designation? Mm-hmm. I mean, if you are looking for someone and you have no reference of you want to help your friend and give them a referral, but how do you know if the referral's good? I think asking the realtor wherever they're going, if they have a designation, is a really good way to find out if they're the kind of person that you would want to refer your friends to.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. I think that it just sort of narrows down. There's a big pool of realtors to try and interview if you want to send a referral.
Yes.
So it's just a lot easier if you can say, okay, these are a military relo. Let's go find someone with that designation. Then they'll have specialized knowledge. I think it's all about specialized knowledge. Interesting. Do you think you will get any additional designations? I don't know.
I think if the seller one, was this the seller one again?
Oh gosh.
SRS.
Yes.
SR. I keep wanting to throw in another letter.
Because you had that already. SRES.
I had SRES. But I think if the SRS comes to Baton Rouge, I would like to go take it.
Yeah.
Or maybe I should see if it's coming to New Orleans or something.
Yeah.
And go there. That would be really fun.
There you go. Go meet some,
I might do that.
Some peeps. Okay, I like it. I loved all of the classes I've taken in reference to a designation. And I built it into my business plan that year. When I got my CRS, I was like, this year I'm going to get a designation. And then I did. And I felt really good about that. I think it's good to spend some money on your education, on furthering your education. Also, CRS, and I don't know how others does like a huge convention. Like they have a big...
Is that the celebration?
The celebration, SELL.
I love a good pun.
Yeah, it's so good because they're going to just sell all the houses.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's additional, obviously, networking and then education there.
And then if you travel to any of the conferences, like the National Association of Realtor conferences in DC or anything like that, a lot of the designations will have like a lunch where they're like, if you have this designation, you are invited to come to lunch and just meet everybody that also has it. It's just neat. It's a neat little world. But if you overextend yourself, I think you lose the goodness of it and
if you have
powerfulness of it.
I think that's exactly right. If you have all the initials behind your name, people just think that's weird. They don't understand what that means. It loses. If you just pick the one that was what you were really wanting to focus on and you advertise that and you put it behind your name and it was, then I think it makes sense. But all of those designations give you marketing materials. So things that you can use to help put the word out that you have it and why it's good.
Speaking of marketing materials, like if you have a formal listing presentation, you can put the logo and everything for all the things that you have on like the last page or wherever you want them. But it just, they provide all of that for you to use because you went through that and have the designation.
Yes. I want to make a side note on that. If you're going to do something like that, please explain to the public what it is. Don't just put the letters on there and then blow by it. Explain to them that not everyone has that it just didn't come with your license, that you had to get special education, and this is what it was for. Don't just put all the letters. That's the thing. If you're going to put all the letters behind your name, they don't know what any of it means.
None of it.
You got to tell them what it means. So help the public understand that you worked extra hard to get that designation.
Yeah. For sure.
I didn't really have anything else in my notes about the designations.
I think this was a nice, short, and sweet episode just to get you a little bit motivated in this quarantine time and, maybe get your juices flowing on ideas for once all of this is over and you can dream of the future when you can travel and go to these classes.
Right. You probably can take some online classes right now if you want to get started. But you could travel one day.
Absolutely.
One day in the future. Oh, I got it right here. I printed it up. I'm so handy. Okay, so today's toast is coming at us from Ashley Harn Bass. And Ashley said she wanted to toast Lauren Rogers for being so willing to be helpful and insightful within our favorite person, the Chelsea Peterson group.
Very cool.
She says she runs a large mom group in her area and is really kicking butt. She helped me get started on one and is constantly checking on me and just being a great supporter. I love that.
That is awesome.
I like when we support each other. Cheers. Yes. Yeah. Cheers to Lauren and Ashley. Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, cheers. Chew. I'm jealous of your tea.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Hustle Humbly podcast. Let us know who we should toast to for the next episode.
Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Hustle Humbly Podcast. If you have an episode, topic, or question, please email us at hustlehumblypodcast@gmail.com.
Be sure to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. See you next week. Bye.
This is the good life.